What's your definition of data storytelling? Because a lot of people have different definitions or different views about what data storytelling actually is.
I think the part of the challenge is the medium that we're going to deliver it, the forum. So when I first got into analytics and data visualization, I first thought of it as, okay, I've heard this term data storytelling. It wasn't a big thing back then. But my assumption is, okay, it's something you do in data visualization, right? It's related to data visualization. And then for me, because everything's solved with a dashboard, I just assumed it's like, okay, data storytelling happens in a dashboard. And it really depends, right? So let's say we're going to deliver a presentation to, a bunch of executives in a business. We're not necessarily going to be presenting it in a dashboard. We might be, but we mightn't be. And it might be in the form of slides, right? And so for me, firstly, delivery matters. Okay, how are we trying to tell the story? Is it through a dashboard that people are logging into, let's say once a week, once a day, whatever? Are we trying to do it in a curated experience where I've been able to create and craft the visuals to tell a specific story of something that I found in the data? For me, I think it's two different things, right? So, firstly, they're both important, and it's a matter of, okay, well, what's the delivery method? So, firstly, I think there's that. Then, if we dive down into either of those, so can you do storytelling with slides? Yes, 100%, right? Like 100%. Can you do it in a dashboard? Okay, depends what type of dashboard we're talking about, right? So if it's just a typical operational dashboard, just look, here's what's going on with the business, fine. Sometimes there'll be a story, sometimes there won't, right? Like, what if everything's just fine? Nothing of concern going on in the business, then, all right, there's nothing really alarming. So there's no story, right? Um, but more often than not, the way I design dashboards, which is probably different to most types of dashboards that are out there, because I think most dashboards out there are more like a report, right? It's just like it's a report, right? Like, and that's fine, right? It has its place, and it doesn't mean we have to do data storytelling in every single scenario. Reports have their place, like, but for me, can you tell a story in a dashboard? I think you can if you properly engage with the business at an appropriate cadence. So, what's an appropriate cadence? For me, it's 3 months. A dashboard should have a life to it and a cadence and an iteration to it that both affords a proper adoption, change to happen, and for people to react to the data that's in the business so that their action and reaction to what's in there is impacting their environment and the business. And we need a feedback loop so that what their actions are doing to the business and the environment are being taken because they're moving the business forward, so that the dashboard now reflects that change in the environment, in the business, and in the people, and in the data. So all of these things coming together. So it becomes a living thing. So when we take that approach, I think absolutely you can tell a story in a dashboard. Will you have a story every single time? Probably not, right? Like, let's say yesterday there was something calling your attention in your dashboard. It's like, oh, we're out of inventory in that store, and we take action on it. We restock the inventory. We're out of inventory for X and Y, Z reasons, whatever. The story's there because we've designed our dashboard that way. Well, I look in today and it's like, okay, no story. Right? There's nothing there. Right? There's like everything's kind of gray.